Hey guys, Solid Cartographer here from 405th.com, and today we're going to be learning how to harden your helmet after you've finished resining it. Now a lot of people have a couple different methods for this. Some people like to use fiberglass cloth, some people like to use fiberglass mesh, but really if you just want to get it done, not have to worry with resin and just sticking that stuff in there, the best way is using a process called Rondo. Now, what Rondo is a combination of Bondo, which is body filler, and resin put together. And today we're going to learn how to make that. So the first thing you need in order to do Rondo is, of course, first a fully resined helmet. Now, this is the helmet that I showed you in the last video. It was just papered then, but I finished resining it. It's nice and stiff. It's holding its shape. It's not as flexible as paper, which is exactly what we want in order to do the rondoing, because now the resin is going to help it hold its shape. It's not going to warp. It's not going to tilt and twist and turn, because Rondo is just like the resin. It is a heated thermochemical process. It's going to get warm, and just with regular paper, that would make it warp and make it twist. You know, it's going to deform your helmet. So make sure you have fully resined your helmet. Make sure it's firm in all the places. The places you want to watch out for are large places like this, where it's flat and thin, and it's going to give. Now, that much give isn't a big problem. That's fine. It's going to hold its shape. But make sure you have large areas like that taken care of. Make sure you get into your corners, into your little crevices, into the little holes everywhere. And once you've done that, you're ready to continue. So, once you have your helmet, you're also going to need some Bondo body filler. Now, this is Bondo body filler. It comes in quart size or gallon size. Quart size is what we're going to be using today, and I know that's going to be backwards for you. It's just the way my camera is. But anyway, it looks like this. It's made by 3M, this particular kind. Now, this is going to cost you around $10 at Home Depot. Now, there is a store called Harbor Freight. You want to see if you have one of these in your area, because they sell great stuff and it's really cheap. This I got at Harbor Freight for about $7, which is going to save you $3, $4, maybe $5 off of Home Depot, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but if you are making a lot of this, it's going to start adding up quickly. So, like I said, check and see if there's a Harbor Freight in your area. If there is, go check it out. It's awesome. So, you've got your helmet, you've got your body filler, your Bondo. So, what's the other part we need? The rest of Rondo, which is the resin. Now, this is your resin, your fiberglass resin. You can pick it up Home Depot, Harbor Freight, wherever. If you've got a Lowe's, they carry it there. You probably won't find some of this at Walmart. Most Walmarts that I've been to don't stock it because it's not one of those things that everybody uses. But still, you can usually find this pretty cheap. So we've got our two components of Rondo, Bondo and resin, and we've got our helmet. So what else are we going to need? Well, what we're going to be doing is called slush casting. So you don't necessarily need a paintbrush or anything else to apply it with. However, it is something good to have on hand, and I'll show you why later on. So you might as well go ahead and get you a box of paintbrushes. Now, this box I picked up from Harbor Freight. Like I said, great store. I got 36 paintbrushes for about $6. That's less than 50 cents a piece. I mean, you can do the math, but I don't feel like doing it right now. So, really good bargain there. So, go ahead and pick up some of those. Now, one thing I will point out, if we take a look at this. Now, these paintbrushes, they're a little bit rough on the edge. They're not smooth like your regular ones. These are cheaper quality. You may get some bristles coming out of there. So if you're OCD about that and you're concerned about that, then go ahead and just buy one of the dollar paintbrushes that you can get at Home Depot or wherever. And those you'll have a lot less trouble with the bristles coming out. So, but if you're not worried, these are great. They're cheap. You just throw them away when you're done. So, but one other thing that you're going to need, now we're going to be getting into the safety aspect of this. One thing that you definitely want to get is some gloves. Now, I picked these up. This is a pack of 100 vinyl gloves. You don't necessarily have to get vinyl. You can get latex or whatever, as long as it's going to protect your hands. You don't want to get this stuff on them. If you get the resin with Bondo or Rondo, anything on your hands, you're going to be feeling it for the next week. You're going to be constantly rubbing your hands. It's going to be rough. It's going to have that stuff on it. It's just going to be annoying. So go ahead and cover your hands. And I mean, these are good to have just, for any hobby project. You're going to protect your hands. As I mentioned in my last video, they're pretty much bulletproof. They're pretty much Kevlar. They're going to hold up to absolutely anything. Should probably note as a disclaimer, these will not hold up to everything, but they are pretty tough. They will suffice for our needs. And speaking of safety and all that, another thing that you're going to need to get is a respirator. Now, this is the respirator I showed you in the last one. It's rated for organic fumes, which is what you want. It goes on very nicely, very quickly. And this is what's going to protect you from the fumes. Now, Bondo and resin give off organic fumes, so you want to make sure that you have one of these. You don't want the one that's just a little face mask. It's not going to protect you as well. And besides, this looks really cool, so plus factor there. Anyway, so now that we have all this stuff, we're ready to go. So I'm going to start mixing this stuff up, show you what proportions to use, and we're going to do that outside. We're going to change it to our old work clothes, like I mentioned in the last video, because you don't want this stuff on your clothes. It's going to ruin them if you do. So make sure you get some clothes that you can throw away if you're so inclined when you're done. So let's go change, and then we'll mix this stuff up.